Hey guys, this is the craziest president of all time. Now when I say the craziest president of all time, we're all on the same page, right? I mean, this guy is a complete lunatic who made some incredibly controversial decisions. Of course, I'm talking about Andrew Jackson, the 7th president of the United States. What do you think I'm talking about something else here?
No, that was exactly who I was thinking.
I was thinking too,
yeah.
Right? I mean, Andrew Jackson, obviously. While some presidents like to take to Twitter every time there's beef, Jackson handled things a little differently. And not just because, Twitter didn't exist. Instead, Andrew Jackson preferred to settle all of his grievances the old-fashioned way, with a duel. Like with a pistol. And he did this a lot. In fact, Andrew Jackson participated in over 100 duels and was even said to carry a number of pistols with him just in case the opportunity arose. A lot of attempted murder for a president. Now, most of them were instigated from Jackson defending the honor of his wife, Rachel. Now, she had been previously married to an abusive husband and filed for divorce. However, that divorce was not official when she married Jackson, which branded her an adulterer, something often brought up by his political opponents. Everything about this is such an 1800s old school thing. The honor of my wife! I am not an adulterer! How dare you, sir! I challenge you to a duel! While the majority of the duels were more for show, like shooting your guns in the air, there were definitely some serious injuries and even one death. A rival, Charles Dickinson, took out an ad in the paper accusing Jackson of backing out of a $2,000 bet from a horse race. It's like the most old school thing I could possibly imagine. So of course, Jackson had to challenge him to a duel. Now Dickinson was also a seasoned duelist. He shot Jackson first, hitting him in the chest close to his heart. However, Jackson remained standing, clenching his wound to stop the bleeding, and then he shot Dickinson, who died later from the gunshot that evening. Matt, what are the rules of dueling? So they literally just stand there and take turns shooting each other? That's a duel?
You each got one shot. And technically, Jackson was illegal because he shot once, the gun jammed.
Oh.
He shot again.
Oh.
So technically that was illegal. But once Dickinson fired his shot, the rules of dueling said he just had to stand there.
When asked how he managed to stay standing, Jackson claimed, "I would have stood up long enough to kill him if he had put a bullet in my brain." That is just ridiculously badass. Now, for whatever reason, Jackson was never tried for murder, and apparently that didn't bug anyone because despite this being a very public duel, he was still elected president. When he was just 13 years old, Jackson joined the Continental Army during the Revolutionary War, where he and his brother were captured by the British. When one of the British officers told him to clean his boots, Jackson was like, "Nah, I'm not doing that." And so he was beaten with a sword, leaving a number of permanent scars.
Isn't that just stabbing?
I think that's what it is. During the War of 1812, Jackson served as the commander of the Tennessee militia. Now, most of the militia consisted of drafted farmers who felt that they had sufficiently served their time and wanted to return home. So, when a few of the farmers attempted to leave, Jackson had them executed, which is of course the only punishment for desertion. Now, obviously that didn't go over well with the rest of the militia, so when they threatened a mutiny, Jackson said that he would kill each and every one of them. So they didn't. That worked. During his presidency, Jackson made a lot of controversial decisions, which earned him a number of enemies even in his own cabinet. At a public event, Richard Lawrence, an unemployed painter, attempted to assassinate Jackson, which, fun fact, was the very first time a US president was attempted to be assassinated.
Why is that a fun fact?
Not fun fact. He tried to shoot Jackson, but the gun jammed. Lawrence then pulled out a second gun because he had heard how hard it was to kill Jackson, I guess, and that gun also backfired. Now this is way back in the day before the Secret Service, so there's no one around to protect the president. But he didn't really need it. Jackson jumped on Lawrence and beat him down with his cane. Someone literally had to drag the president off of his would-be assassin so he didn't kill them. By the way, Jackson was 67 at the time. After leaving office, Andrew Jackson was asked if he had any regrets during his presidency. Was it something about his policies? No. His only regret was that he didn't murder John C. Calhoun, who, by the way, was his vice president. I'm not even exaggerating. That's an actual quote. So the next time you get pulled into a debate about modern politics, feel free to mention the story of Andrew Jackson. It might not get you out of it, but it's a cool story. And also, definitely be sure to check out some other This Is episodes here, as well as make sure to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell, because if you don't, Matt will be forced to duel with jammed pistols.
As long as it's not Jackson.
He would beat you regardless.
Oh yeah, I'd be dead.